All right, everyone. Good morning and good moment in time, whenever this is that you are seeing this recording. Let's do some Qigong. Let's start with a little self massage on the sternum with the fingers and the knuckles. But meeting that sensation also with a deep belly breath, full and deep and slow and low. All the way from the collarbone, all the way down to the xiphoid process is fair game for this area. Immune boost and emotional balance. And then over to the lung points on one side. Some bigger and or just kind of the general area of that meaty part of the lung or chest. And then to include the meridians of the arm, slapping down the inside of the arm. It's an open palm. And when you get to the wrist, turn over the arm. Come on up. Back around, go to the chest, and 2 more times. Livening these meridians, which include the lung and large intestine, and metal element, immune function, elimination, skin, and then change sides. And down the arm, inside. Morning, Marna.
Sorry.
Rise. 3 times down and up. Back to the sternum when you're done with that. Nice deep, low breath. And just to feel sensations of your chi. Going into a wave breath, which is a nice one to start to expand not just the abdomen and the diaphragm, but also ribs, chest, these structures around the lungs. So inhaling belly, then the ribs and the chest. Exhaling in the opposite kind of way, waving down, chest, ribs, belly. Allowing the breath to actually stretch your tissues from the inside out. 2 more rounds in and out. I have one more, so if that puts you to another round, go for it. And then we continue with that breath pattern with Buddha holds up the earth variation warm up. So inhaling, belly, ribs, chest. At the top of the inhale, little spiral of the hand, like the hands and the arms, like this, kind of stretching the lung meridian, which ends at the thumb, but pulling back the elbows and the opening up the chest, top of the inhale, exhale, with the wave breath, deflating chest, ribs, belly. Pause at the top of the next inhale. And then extending one arm more kind of in a spiral greeting to the heavens and the other one down, spiral greeting to the earth, little between heaven and earth moment. Doing this with relaxed shoulders if you can, and just maybe even feeling the energy above and below. And then we'll stretch to the side and then continue that spiral. So bringing out the arms a little bit, inhaling into the ribs, exhaling back to the center, bend the knees to the other side. Inhale, expand the side body with the rib expansion. Exhale, center. Pinky towards midline. Center. Exhaling center, sorry, inhaling to the side. After this inhale, come upright. Natural breath. And then this hand can come behind the body. This hand goes across the face. Maybe making a little wider stance. Now we're going to exhale to twist. So hinge at the hip, twist at the spine from the bottom to the top. Bring out the arms. Exhale. This is the exhale. Inhale yourself back to center. Shift the weight. Exhale, twist. Bringing out stagnation. We have quail friends tonight, today, all around. Head and neck involved as you twist. More full round, both sides. We'll pause. Sometimes we go right into a knocking on the door of life, but we're going to do spinal cord breathing with healing sound for the lungs, right? We'll purge. Let's do, well, actually, let's do all the healing sounds for overall balance for the whole system. So first we'll warm up in just extension and flexion. So bending the knees, fists are loose. We're going to inhale with those bent knees, opening up the spine from the tailbone to the head. Exhaling, tucking all the vertebrae. Cat cow standing, really. With the bonus shoulder opening with the arm movement. My knees stay bent the whole time. If you have the ability to do that, try that. This could be done seated as well. And then we'll do this. We'll open to the side. We'll come back to the center. We'll open the hands and we'll do this healing sound. We'll go through in the generative order. So as sound for the lungs. Hands are open, squeeze out all the air. Inhale to the other side. Return to the center, open the hands, same sound again. Moving on. Kidney sound next, which is chew, but that like you're blowing out a candle. One more for the kidneys, open the hands. Liver is next with a sh sound, sh. Fire, heart, ha sound. One more for the heart. Ho with guttural sound in the back of the throat for the spleen. And there's 6 sounds. The triple warmer is the last organ. That's the heat. Excellent. Purging pathogenic chi from all the organ systems, which kind of cover the rainbow of emotion. And also just like Zoe, you're saying, like you have a little cold or whatever, like pathogenic chi could be like on a physical level too, just purging kind of stagnant energy. All right, let's do knocking on the door of life with not a weight shift, just stable feet at shoulder width distance apart, letting the movement come from the hip and the waist. Arms swing with momentum, knocking around the belt channel. Breath is full and out, nose, natural rhythm. Again, get your head and neck involved. Like anytime we're twisting, don't overdo it, but opportunity to keep those joints supple, or at least not stagnant and stiff. And then up to the chest with the front fist. And then if you like, cupped hand on the shoulder trapezius area. That's for the gallbladder channel, which runs up into the head and knocking out tightness and tension. So in that area, back to the chest, the belt channel. And then flowing down into water waves. One arm in front, one arm behind. Turning from the hips and the waist still. Slow it down into stillness. Take a moment just to assess your body, your energy. So we did all the ways the spine moves. Let's open up some energy in the legs and the meridian, stretching lines of tension in the legs and the back body and the front body with full body flow, starting with a forward fold. So before I go down there and like my head's away from the camera between, just really, as I say, like breathe into the back body, breathe into the kidneys, just breathe into the stretch. Breathe deeply, stretch deeply. Don't sacrifice the breath. So find your right stretch. So just kind of with knees bent or straight, going into forward fold, wide-legged. And vary the weight, where your weight is in your feet to vary the stretch. And then we'll do full body flow. So bend the knees, grab the back of your hand, and then roll up on the inhale. Push those hips forward, engage the buttocks. Stretch the front body. Exhale on the way down. Hands like this, or just gentle roll down. Bend the knees, roll up with the inhale. I like to let my head kind of hang on the way up, stretch the back of the neck. And now we'll just take our arms out to like our stopping traffic position, stretch a little bit of the meridians, drop the shoulder blades on the back, press them down or out to the side. Little neck rolling. Purging breath, exhale if you like. And to the other side. Keep going. One. Cornelia. Maybe like kind of a 180 ear to shoulder towards chin to chest to the other side. Back and forth a couple times. And then let's do some hip circles. Warm up this center area below our waist. The other direction. And then when you get to the front position, this will kind of transition to kind of more hip thrust, pushing your hips forward and then coming into a little bit of a semi squat and push the hips forward. And warming up hip flexors for a squat. And our tiger sits in the grass is coming. Forward. And I'm feeling like my knees want a little love before they bend a little more for the squat. So let's do a little just chi transfer, chi love on our knees. So warming up the chi in our hands, kind of let's rubbing the hands together, the palms together. And we can kind of go into that staggered stance and we'll do our knee bounce as we kind of pat and enliven the joints. So both knees kind of bending and straightening together. I'm going all around the joint. And then changing sides, staggering, that position that works for bending and straightening the legs at the knees. All right, good job. Then let's try our tiger sits in the grass for our purge. We're going to exhale through the mouth on our way down. So take your tiger claws and then just modify your range of motion, or you could also just kind of hinge a little bit. Exhaling down to compost to the earth, and then inhale. Squatting is functional fitness. Oh, look at that. Sorry, keep going. I'm not on do not disturb. I apologize. And meeting at the upper position on the inhale. And roaring together. And then finally, before I do our shaking, we're going to do come back to the hip thrust, but just involve our arms for opening the joints of the hands, the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. I haven't done a ton of warm up for that, so make the range of motion appropriate for that. We'll start with the palms face up. And as hips go back, the fingers point behind, palms face up the whole time. You're carrying 2 cups of tea, 1 in each hand. Exhaling back here. I love this one for just opening the chest. So good. Meeting that with it. One more round. All right. Nice. All right, we're going to shake, or we can do the upper body, version if you don't want to do that for your knees. And we're going to use the healing sound for the lungs, purging, continuing to purge some pathogenic chi from the lungs. So that's the S sound. But we'll also do the Z sound, which more is the physical, addresses the physical gunk in the lungs. So let's start with the energetic and go to the physical. Get your bounce on, your shake on, a nice deep inhale. Do 3 of each. And then the Z sound. Like buzzy. One more. Pausing, putting some attention on the chest lung area. Let's do and be some soaring crane to tonify the lungs. This was the plan all along, so good call, Zoe. We're going to have the feet in shoulder distance apart, soft knees. And there will be a weight shift in this one. So just, kind of get yourself to a place where shifting back and forth from the kind of the weight from the heels towards the balls of the feet that feels right for your body. And then come to this kind of middle of that. And then we're going to just let the arms float up as effortlessly as possible to chest level, palms face down. And we're going to inhale and open our wingspan. Here. And then on the exhale, flip the palms up, touch the pointer finger and the thumb, the end of the pointer, the finger, and the thumb as we exhale. A little sinking of the chest. Let that go. Flip the hand. Inhale. Flip the palms, touch thumb and forefinger. Exhale. And definitely this could be done seated on the edge of a chair. Inhale. And in and out through the nose, coordinated movement and breath. And what we're doing, we're letting this be effortless. We're letting the breath and the chi move us. You can lower your arms if need be. And try that weight shift. So towards the heels as you exhale, sink the chest. Towards the balls of the feet. Inhale. undulates through the body, that with the weight shift. Lowering the arms more to like mid rib level. Waving spines. Right. Simple enough movement, not necessarily easy, but simple. Let the breath guide your timing. And more so, unify breath and tonifying the energy of the lungs. Supporting respirations, where we bring in the outside. It's the fastest way to increase our life force energies through the breath, the respiration. Supporting and boosting our immune function. So connected to the organ of the skin. Paired with the large intestine. Energetically tonifying courage and inspiration. Who couldn't use a little courage these days? Maybe playing with your range of motion, maybe your arms can open up, the shoulders can open up a little bit more. Warm up this. Beginning. Chest. We have the kind of the modification of the variation we'll add. So when you come to the end of the exhale, pause. So the hands are in front of the body when you get there. And then we open up the fingers and then we'll inhale the palms towards the chest and the chest towards the palms, meaning with the weight shift. And then we'll exhale, sink the chest, push away, you could say like gray, cloudy energy. And then we'll inhale, open our wingspan. Touch finger and thumb, exhale. Open the hands, inhale. Exhale, push away, gray, cloudy. But still all in and out through the nose with the breath. Feel a little weight shift towards the toes here. Heels here. Toes here. If be a moving meditation, Breath and movement are one. Linking the thumb and the pointer finger is the connection point of those two meridians that are of the paired organs. The end of the lung meridian with the beginning of the large intestine. So we're kind of sealing in or keeping that energy. We're tonifying for fullest expression, fullest health. And when you come to a place where your palms are facing the lungs, we'll just pause there. Kind of radiating some loving chi into the lungs, or starting to picture the healing color, that pearly white light. Breathing in pearly white light, expanding it, however that works for you, to make meaning of this healing color, which is a tonifying energy for the lungs. And then we'll just go into the official standing posture form, which is arms in that oval shape, but the thumb and the forefinger touch. Rooting to rise. Continuing to visualize white pearly light in the lungs, or in this torso area, this whole oval area. More with the breath. At ease. It's really nice. The whole sequence, even from the beginning with the twisting and the opening of the lungs, is just a really great kind of medicine for the respiration system for the lungs. So that was great. And then we'll do one more flow. We will embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. Well, and tiger is connected to the energy of courage and power. A little bit formed. Oh, hello. We have a little chicken, or actually, I don't know who it is, but he's right behind me. Hi. There's a black head, black crown, chickadee or something. So let us do embrace the tiger, return to the mountain, embrace our personal power, and coming back again and again to being grounded in our expression of power. What world leader couldn't use a little of that? So we'll just do it for them. We'll be in proxy for that balance of empowerment, power, and grounding. I know it's possible. The right relationship with power. All right, so shoulder distance apart with the feet. Knees are soft, and it builds on that fountain movement. But we have to figure out how we start. All right, starting holding a chi ball at the belly for the first moment here, just kind of connecting in with your lower dantian. Your crown is rising effortlessly towards the heavens, and then we're going to just turn the palms down, so the palms have that relationship with earth energy and that kind of little bit of that pressing energy. And what we're going to do is take a catch inhale. On the exhale, we're going to send the hips back and let the hands float out. Tuck the tailbone, let the hands come together, back of the hands towards the midline, and then on the inhale, roll on up. Elbows drop. On the exhale, send the hips back again and do this little tiger roar. And then stack the hips. And the inhale is here, return to the mountain. Exhale, send the hips back. Tuck the tailbone, roll on up. And then you send the hips back. And you could also think of this as a little bit of a spinal wave. You know, the hips go back and there's just a waving motion. And the hands and arms are just check your form. That oval shape that we kind of do up here for Buddha holds up the earth is like here. So the palms are kind of facing out of the oval shape. So that when you start to stack your hips, your hands are already kind of in the position where you're going to connect with that earth energy for grounding and come back to your little chi ball moment and then go again. So exhale here, inhale as you roll up. Yeah. Stack your hips. So just to be clear, I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Like from here, I kind of am holding my breath, you could say, out as I tuck the tailbone and let my arms kind of come to the midline, and then I'm ready to inhale. So there's a little, I mean, it's kind of all spears together, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying a specific breath pattern because I like to kind of line up so that when I'm inhaling, I'm this upward motion. Exhale. Inhale, nice long inhale. Tailbone, that sets you up for this just unfurling of the spine. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale on the way up here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Up to tailbone, roll up, inhale. Roar. And then the one thing I'll just workshop, just the principle, it's almost always a principle in everything we do, but it like applies in different ways, is like the movement is so much generated from the center down here or the core of our spine, and then the arms are following suit. So for example, when I send my hips back, it initiates this movement, but I'm not like, it's not a lot of muscling of like, I'm opening my arms, like by virtue of knowing what form I'm going for, that initiates this and it's effortless. When I tuck my tailbone and I start to roll, like unfurl the spine, naturally my arms just kind of come up. So that's the second application. And the same here, like when the hips go back, arms just float out. And then the final application is stack the hips and the arms naturally go up. Like I haven't moved the joint, right? I've said this a million times, but so, and then it just follows, and then the arms float down effortlessly. So let the movement and the the shape come from the center, and the arms respond. So take a catch, inhale, we'll flow together for a while with this and moving meditation. Exhale, send the hips back. Tailbone roll up, inhale. This will always be an exhale, so if you need to adjust your breath or take a catch inhale, do so, and that'll line you back up again. I'll turn this side in. 3 more times. That ball of energy when you're done with the third round, right at the belly center. Letting the breath expand and contract that energy area concentration. And if you can feel that electromagnetic kind of activity between the palms. And we'll pull down the heavens. Let's do 3 times, 4 more, just like literally just bringing in cosmic and heavenly energy into our body for like, you know, invigoration and enlivenment. And then 3 times where we're focused more on storing and guiding and directing the energy to the belly center. So that just like brings in whatever is needed for your optimal expression in your day, in your health, in your body, life here. So 3 times, inhale, gather, effortlessly floating on hands and arms up. And on the exhale. Storage focus, still not such a different move, but saying any excess of this awesome and unlimited amount of energy, we store it to the belly center for healing, growth, and repair. belly. When you're complete with that, feet face together for bamboo in the wind. There. But it's comfortable to let your muscles soften of the legs. So you're more yielding, like a waving bamboo in the wind. Closing the eyes, bringing the focus inward, letting the whole practice integrate into your nervous system. Some of that inner smile or outer smile energy of appreciation first for to yourself for in doing this practice. You're all regular practitioners of Qigong, and you know transformed something in ourselves just by virtue of showing up here and engaging in these moves and in this practice. That it's really appreciating ourselves for that. Smiling to your body, smiling to your lungs, appreciation and awe for the miracle and the majesty of it all. All of us are breathing freely to some degree compared to someone on a ventilator where there's so much to be grateful for that we could take for granted. Finally, a little circle around the navel to wind it all in. Bring ourselves back into physical form. Wow, thank you so much. I'm going to turn the recording off.